everyone, and welcome to another art video with me, Ellie. If you're in lockdown or in quarantine conditions at home, or whether you're not, I'm bringing you art videos every day for a month to give you some ideas, perhaps some new ideas, or get you going with something artistic at home, something easy or complicated, as much as you like, that you can do at home no matter what your age or what your ability, young or old. Anybody can try these things out. And in today's video we're going to be looking at creating a little scene that can be made of anything that you like, really. So we're going to talk a bit about that. We've set something up here, and I've already started on a drawing with my young boy's help this morning, and I'm going to talk you through that and then show you how you can work these ideas together into a still life. Alright, so I'm going to turn around now and we'll see what we've set up here on the table in front of me. And I have chosen, I think a good starting point for this is to choose some objects, or you can do this, you know, with brothers or sisters if you like, or you can do this, you could say to some member of the family, oh, can you choose a favourite object in the house? Or you can pick your own favourite objects and then make them maybe unexpected, you know, so you've got some surprise elements in this. I chose this lovely bamboo Chinese statue, which I brought in from the kitchen, and then my boy suggested some of his favourite dinosaurs and a car, and we've got a little cactus in there as well. So they're sort of, they're not the things you would expect necessarily to put together, and then would have made an arrangement that you think, actually, okay, well, we can make a sort of an interesting picture with those things together. I've put them on a very plain surface here on the table, but you could have a patterned surface if you like, or you could have a picture behind, like a scene or a photograph behind there. You can really use your imagination, so it could even be something like a bit of a film set idea. You could turn it into an illustration and add in some characters. Really, it's unlimited. I've made a start on this drawing today already in pencil, because yesterday I was aware that I wasn't really showing you so much of the drawing that I was doing. So I've started this in pencil today, just using an ordinary HB pencil, but you could use coloured pencils, you could use charcoal, pen, anything you like, really. I'm just pulling up a chair so my boy can sit down. Shall I hold that for you? That's okay, while you get up on the stool there. And you can see that I've drawn some of the statue just in grey. I've outlined things really on there, but you can, you know, have a good look before you start. Really take your time to arrange it in an interesting way. And those of you who are more advanced can create something a bit more complicated, and you could even make something that you feel is personally meaningful for you at the moment, whatever it is that you're experiencing. It could be inspired by a scene that you can see from your window, or it may, as I say, just be putting some of your favourite objects together that you wouldn't necessarily put together in the first place. So we've added in another dinosaur here. What kind of dinosaur is that? I can't quite remember.
What?
This one here. What's that one?
Acrocanthosaurus.
Acrocanthosaurus, okay. So I'm just going to continue a little bit there. If we're going to overlap him a bit, because he's been put in there, and I'll show you that, you know, most of us are fairly familiar with pencil drawing, but many of us think we're no good at drawing, and I don't believe that at all. It's another skill that you can learn. Perhaps you just didn't have great teaching in art when you were at school, and you can certainly, with practice and good observation, you can, like anything, takes practice and a bit of self-discipline to get really good at it. Classic way is just to, you know, keep your eyes on the object as you're looking at it. Try to think about where it might relate to some other object there. Keep your lines light if you're feeling a little bit unsure about it and you might want to rub out going along, but I discourage rubbers really, unless you're really feeling like you're making really messing up. Just keep your lines a little bit lighter till you're sure, like that. You can stay a little bit feathery, and then when you're sure that's the right position, you can darken it up a little bit. I'm simplifying this for the sake of doing the video a little bit, but I'm going to introduce a bit of colour and maybe some other ideas as we go along here. So I never thought I'd be drawing these objects together, but still life, again, it's one of those classic forms of making art, but you might not have tried it before, but it's something that down the centuries people have done bowls of fruit and flowers and all those different things, you know, but trying to find a way to make it a bit original and yours, or even very original and yours, then you can really think of anything. And there's nothing to say this has to be done on white paper. There's nothing to be say, you know, it could be that you do part of this drawing and then somebody else does another part of the drawing. It could be something that's like a shared drawing activity. I think that's wobbling my seat very slightly if we're putting the foot on there. or it could be that, you know, you start off this in one kind of media like pencil and then you paint it in. Or you might, you know, it might be something that takes you the whole week and you just do a little bit each day. You know, it's really up to you how you do this, but it's, the nice thing is that you've kind of got a bit of control over it. You can really choose what you want to do it with. Okay, and over the years I seem to have done lots and lots and lots of these different kinds of things, but I think it's the first time I've done one with dinosaurs and sports cars and cactus and a big plump sculpture as well. I think his face is probably just going to go off the paper there. Let's see if we can get some of those spikes in there. There we go. It's going up that ridged back, so you can really use your drawing to get into those little details of texture. I feel that's quite sharp along that surface there. And that's one of the nice things about, you often see that, you may, you know, if you, those of you who are students and maybe have looked at Artists Still Lives, you may be aware of the kind of subtlety that is there with it. They've carefully chosen objects that have very different kinds of textures. So you've got things that are smooth, you've got things that are sharp, you have things that this, and here, if we think about that wood is beautifully polished and smooth to the touch. And then we've got this spiky dinosaur down here, and it's having a sense of those different textures and trying to create that and kind of feel that as you draw helps it to be something that's interesting, you know. So we're looking for really trying to engage you, the artist, and then possibly the viewer as well. I'm going to use that rubbing out there. You might actually have you know, overlapping objects. That could be really interesting as a line drawing, but those of you who might be beginners today, let's, oh, sorry, keep that a little bit simple. So I think I jogged the camera there. And then we've got some of those patterns going in there as well. Well done to those of you yesterday who managed yesterday's challenge. You'll find all the previous videos on my channel, which is basically my name. And some of you are posting up pictures to me on Facebook, and that's really lovely to see what you're up to, and I'm giving a shout out to those people who've really done well so far on those, and just giving these things a go and maybe saying, oh, what you'd like to see done as well. So I'm taking those on board, and we'll have some maybe some of the future videos where we incorporate some of those ideas as well. Okay, all right, so kind of made a start there with that. It's all very outliney at the moment, so there's if you want to do some shading, then this is a good way to bring in a sense of something being really three-dimensional. It's not something that's been used in lots of different countries, the idea of shading. Some countries, interestingly, don't really have it in their drawing at all. But it's very much a tradition in the Western countries. So if you want to make something look quite solid and weighty, then you use your shading skills, always trying to follow the form around, and using a kind of pencil that can give you a little bit of darkness there. So pressing a little bit harder where you want to make it look a bit dark. It gives a sense of shadow and depth. And then we can really give this chap who's got a big tummy. See, I'm working into that a little bit more there. I'm always trying to follow the form around though with that technique, and then soften it up and feel the roundness there. Okay, wherever that is, and feel the shading under there. So this is just an HB pencil. It's quite a nice one, but if you're using a harder pencil, which might have an H on the stem there, then you would find that you can't go very dark with it. Okay, so I'm going to change now and put in a bit of colour. That lovely red cactus appeals to me quite a lot, so I'm going to actually shade this in now with some red. These are just colouring pencils, but I really particularly love this set of pencils because they're watercolour pencils, and I don't think I brought any water to the table. No, I didn't actually, because I wasn't intending to paint, but you can actually apply a wet brush to these kinds of pencils as well, and then they'll turn into a kind of instant paint. So those of you, those are my students I taught in the past. I was always raving about watercolour pencils because they're just brilliant to have in your, when you are able to go out, which will of course come again in the future. But even inside the house, you can apply water, and it's like a sort of instant painting, which is lovely. So I'll try and work one colour with another one. How are we doing for time?
10.
We're at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going on a bit longer than I thought. Okay, I'm trying to keep these a little bit under 10 minutes. Seems like I've gone over, so... Okay. And the other thing I'll just suggest then, in the time that we have left on this, is you might also like to try working with a fine liner, if you happen to have one around, or a fine pen of some sort, which you can also use that to, you could even draw in some of the details on there. It gives another kind of way of drawing into the details and creating different sorts of effects. So I might work into that a little bit more. We'll see, but let's just hold that up now. You can see at the end there. So let's go back to background. Just swing back round to the end. Okay, and I'll hold this up. Okay. Woo. We're working this out as we go along as well. So there we go. Do have a go, and do send me your pictures and results along with any questions, and please share these videos around if you enjoy them. That will be brilliant. So many people are looking for things to do at home as the days pass, and you can really try these things with very basic materials with whatever you've got. And please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much for watching. Be healthy, be creative. Bye.